Every day, people use communication to share thoughts, connect with others, and move through the world. But what would happen if you could not talk, write, or read effectively? What basic tasks would you not be able to complete? How would you feel when you could not express what you wanted to say? If you have a speech or language impairment, this could be your reality. Speech or language impairment is an umbrella term that is used to describe a wide range of disabilities with different manifestations and causes. Instructors must know that students with speech or language disabilities have an impairment that interrupts their ability to communicate or to use verbal or written words to express thoughts, feelings, and ideas. Speech impairments involve the voice and occur when a person has difficulty making the sounds necessary for communication, as in when a person stutters or makes unintelligible sounds. Language impairments involve the rules, symbols, and social context of communication, and range from struggles with reading and writing to elective mutism.
Instructors must be knowledgeable of types of speech impairments, including articulation problems, fluency problems, and voice problems. As stated by Diane Bryant, it is normal for children between 3 and 5 years of age to demonstrate misarticulations and disfluencies in their speech development and generally will not require therapy. Articulation problems occur when students have difficulty producing the correct speech sounds. This includes the omission, substitution, distortion, or addition of words. When a child has fluency problems, they will have hesitations or repetitions that interrupt the flow of their speech, such as stuttering. Unusual pitch or loudness are considered voice problems.
Language impairments involve the syntax, semantics, and pragmatics of language, or more simply, the rules, meaning, and social context of language. This may include difficulty understanding or expressing questions, gestures, or sentences, or language-based learning disabilities, such as difficulty reading, writing, and spelling. Instructors who are working with children must know about language delays and language differences, which are common communication issues that are not considered language impairments. Language differences occur when a student struggles with language because English is not the child's first language. Instructors must determine if these students also have a speech or language impairment. Language delays occur when children learn language skills at a slightly slower pace than their peers. Instructors must look out for children whose language skills are far behind those of their peers and who do not catch up, which is an indication of a speech or language impairment. Keep in mind that early intervention is imperative for facilitating communication skills and learning. 18% of students between 6 and 21 have speech or language impairments. Instructors must know what these statistics actually mean. These impairments are reported with great prevalence in early childhood but less often in later childhood, when reports of learning disabilities rise. But federal reports only listed students' primary disability. Children who have speech and language impairments are often later diagnosed with other disabilities too, so while learning disabilities are reported more, speech and language impairments are more common if you take into account students' primary and secondary disabilities. Instructors must be aware of this fact so they may address this prevalent impairment while children. Instructors must know how to catch language disorders in children under 3 by looking for the following: babies who don't smile, interact, make sounds, or use gestures, or toddlers who don't interact well with others, don't show an interest in books or drawing, don't understand others, and don't talk much or make sentences at the same rate as their peers. Toddlers and young children may have speech impairments if they cannot be understood even by familiar people, or if they have difficulty saying letters like P, M, K, or D. They might have disfluency if they repeat or stretch out sounds in words, or pause often in speech. They might have a voice disorder if their voice sounds hoarse or nasal.
There are countless strategies that teachers can use to better meet the needs of their students with speech and language impairments. One strategy that is beneficial is the use of sentence starters throughout classroom instruction. Sentence starters can be used to prompt the student and allow this child to address the content rather than worrying about the language structure. For example, if a teacher asks, "What is the main idea of this paragraph?" the teacher would then scaffold for the student by using a sentence starter such as, "The main idea of this paragraph is," allowing the child to focus solely on determining the main idea opposed to having to think about how to formulate the sentence as well. Using visuals to reinforce concepts for children with speech or language difficulties is also an effective strategy. In the case of auditory processing issues, students may find a visual prompt easier to follow than a verbal directive. For students with difficulties following directives, a reminder placed on the student's desk with a picture prompt is also beneficial. Another strategy is using nonverbal gestures or cues. For students with articulation errors, the teacher may use nonverbal gestures or cues to remind the student that they need to restate a sound correctly. The speech and language teacher will focus on producing sounds in the correct manner. They may use specific hand motions to mean certain things. The classroom teacher can use the same cues as the speech teacher to remind a student when they are not creating a sound correctly. This will promote generalization of the skills. In addition, the consistency between both teachers will reinforce the skill that is being cued. A final strategy for teachers to use for their students with speech and language impairments is establishing conversation partners. One commonly used example is turn and talk. In this practice, students share their responses to a question with a partner. Following this, the teacher may have several partnerships volunteer to share out what they discussed. This practice will make the child more likely to participate because it provides him or her with time to formulate his or her response with a partner before sharing. Then, when the partnerships have an opportunity to share out their responses, the child will have more confidence. Even if they choose not to participate, they will still be engaged in a discussion to practice their language skills.
For more information about speech or language impairments, visit the website of the American Speech Language Hearing Association. For legal information, visit the government's website for Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. For resources for families or caregivers, visit the website of the Center for Parent Information and Resources.